Thank you for choosing VersaRail aluminum railing. Made of powder-coated aluminum, VersaRail pairs beautifully with more contemporary and high-end architecturally designed homes. Durable and strong, VersaRail is a great choice for both residential and commercial applications. And its patented locking strip system makes it quick and easy to install. You can choose from two top rail profiles, the Classic or the Cambridge. VersaRail level rail installation instructions. Determine the desired rail placement and snap a white chalk line onto the mounting surface to ensure that all posts are aligned properly. Be sure that sufficient mounting structure exists in the areas to receive the posts, and install blocking if necessary. Plumb and level the posts using included leveling shims. Secure the posts in place with appropriate fasteners sold separately, and install base trim on each post. For 2.5-inch aluminum posts only, take the mounting jig out of the rail kit and align on top of the base trim. Mark the holes. Remove the jig. Then pre-drill 2 holes for bottom bracket using 1/8-inch drill bit. Measure 32 inches up from the top of the base trim and make a mark. Align the bottom of the jig with the mark. Then mark the 4 holes. Remove the jig, then pre-drill 4 holes using 1/8-inch drill bit. Align brackets with the holes, ensuring the brackets are square, and fasten brackets in place using the 1.5-inch screws provided. Be sure to use 1.5-inch screws when installing brackets, and keep longer 1 5/8-inch screws for installing top rail. Place bottom rail across post opening, leaving equivalent spacing from last baluster to post on each end. Make sure there is even spacing from baluster hole to post. Mark rail flush to post. From marked lines, mark additional parallel lines 1/4 of an inch from first line toward the center of the rail to allow for bracket clearance. Align top rail and top rail cap with bottom rail and mark all before cutting to size. Then, cut all to same length with a carbide tipped saw blade of at least 60 teeth. Place top and bottom rail on a smooth, flat, and clean surface with the baluster holes facing each other. Then, align the top and bottom rails so that the ridges inside the rails are oriented on the same side. Insert all balusters through the square holes in both top and bottom rails, making sure the hole in each baluster goes in the same direction facing the side with the 2 small ridges. Snap in bumps from locking strips into holes of the baluster for both top and bottom rails. Make sure arrows on locking strip face rails. Run your fingers along both the rails to ensure locking strip is fully engaged prior to moving on. If the rails were previously cut shorter, then there will be some extra locking strip at the end of the rail. Use scissors or utility knife to trim off the excess while leaving approximately 2 inches after the last engaged bump. Pull the top and bottom rails towards ends, guiding the rails over the locking strips until snug. Stand rail section up and fully lock balusters into the rails by placing 1 foot on the top of the bottom rail between the second and third baluster, while at the same time placing a hand under the bottom of the top rail between the second and third baluster. Push with foot and pull with hand until locking is completed. You should hear a snap as the strip locks into the rail. Repeat this process for the middle and the ends of the panel. Slide assembled rail section down between the posts and onto the 4 brackets. Pivot support block in place under the rail. Secure support block to the mounting surface using 1.5-inch screws provided and press cover into place using plastic plug. Ensure that the rail panel fits properly. Remove the panel. Press bottom bracket covers onto the ends of the bottom rail and set panel back in place on brackets. Place bracket covers onto top rail cap. Then press the top rail cap onto the top rail. Press down on the top rail cap to ensure that it is snug onto the panel and that the top rail bracket end covers are being held in place by the line bracket. Using the holes in the brackets as a guide, pre-drill 2 1/8-inch holes from under the bottom of the rail up through the top rail on both ends, being careful not to drill through the top of the top rail. Drive 2 1 5/8-inch screws up through the hole, locking the bracket, panel, and top rail together on both ends. Install pyramid post top onto each post. VersaRail stair rail instructions. Closely follow post-install kit installation instructions and ensure all rail posts are properly blocked and supported to meet local code requirements. Assemble the rail panel as described in VersaRail level rail installation instructions. Place a deck board on the stair noses, spanning from post to post. Place the stair panel on the board across the opening, and plumb balusters while ensuring there is equivalent baluster spacing on each end. Clamp the panel in place at this location. Next, temporarily assemble top and bottom stair mounting brackets. Brackets slide into bracket bases, bracket cover is aligned, and the bracket is fastened together using the hinge bolt provided. Hold each respective bracket against the post face, align bracket with stair panel, and mark the rail panel on all 4 ends. Be sure to label the top rail to simplify placement after cutting. For both ends of the bottom rail only, add 3/4 of an inch toward the rail end or post to the marks already made on the panel. Remove the rail panel and cut the panel at these marks. For the top rail, cut the panel directly on the marks already made. Insert the assembled bottom brackets onto the bottom rail. Align assembled top brackets, temporarily secure brackets in place with tape, and test the panel for proper fit. Once proper fit is ensured, mark the bracket positions on all 4 post locations. Make marks on top and one side of bracket to ensure it is properly placed and centered. Then remove panel and then remove the brackets from the rail panel. Disassemble the brackets by removing the hinge bolts from each bracket. Loosely assemble the stair bracket base and bracket cover, and use it as a template to mark locations for pre-drilling. Place the stair bracket base on the post aligned with the marks previously made, and mark the 2 holes for each bracket base. Then pre-drill each using a 1/8-inch bit. Complete for all 4 brackets. Secure all 4 bracket bases to post using the non-painted flathead 1.5-inch screws provided. Measure the length of the rail panel and cut the top rail to match. Press down on the top rail to ensure that it fits snugly onto the panel. Align top stair brackets with the rail ends, using the pre-drilled holes as a guide. Drill up through the railings using a 1/8-inch drill bit, being careful not to drill through the top of the top rail. Do this for the top and bottom of the top rail. Press top rail cap and end covers onto both ends of the top rail. Slide top brackets in place on the rail ends, ensuring that the top rail cap and covers nest into the grooves of the brackets. Align the bracket, panel, and top rail. Drive 2 1 5/8-inch painted pinhead screws through the pre-drilled holes, locking the assembly together for both ends of the top rail. Press bottom brackets onto the bottom rails. Slide all 4 brackets into bracket bases, which are already connected to the posts. Slide bracket covers onto the bases and secure in place with provided hinge bolts to lock stair panel in place. Install pyramid post top onto each post. Congratulations! You have successfully installed your new VersaRail railing.